Phantom Leader by DVG Games is a game I've been interested in trying out for a long time. I'm really excited to show you what's in the box. Let's take a look here on Legendary Tactics. Phantom Leader is a game that I have been curious about for a long time. I have had the Thunderbolt Apache Leader game for quite a few years. It's been excellent. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm really interested in seeing the other directions that this series has gone. Obviously, there's a lot about this that's familiar, which is nice. It's obviously going to be relatively easy to get into. I'll likely recognize a lot of the way things work, but at the same time, it's going to have some interesting twists. It's a different time period and a different board. I love the board there with the kind of the squares all zooming in towards a target, almost like a bullseye of sorts. The materials are all very familiar. If you have certainly if you have Thunderbolt Apache Leader, which is the only game that I can speak to, the components, the stats, everything looks very similar and so forth. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a closer look at the components here, and then we're going to rebox this game for you. So first of all, there are event cards and target cards. So it's a little bit different from Thunderbolt Apache Leader, where you have the formations you have to attack. This gives you target cards and event cards. And interestingly, there's a political angle to the events as well, or to the missions, where you have to take that into account as the political impact of the type of missions you're doing, which I thought seems really neat. It's a really interesting twist. It's a bit strange that single missions would cause that much political blowback, but or be that politically beneficial, but whatever. It's for the game. I think it adds an interesting dimension to it. Of course, we have all the airplane cards. I'm not going to show you every single one, but they are, as you might expect, very similar to the other games in the series, and they have their stats. So what I like about these games is they boil the stats of each aircraft and each airborne vehicle, helicopter, whatever, drones, as in the case of Thunderbolt Apache Leader, boil them down to very simple stats and very easy, in ways that are very easy to implement in the gameplay. And I've always appreciated that about it. So we're going to put these back in the shrink wrap. It's always the best way to store them. So make sure that they're kept in pristine condition for our next playthrough. So next up, we're going to take a look at one more deck of cards here, just to get a better sense of the different aircraft that are available. It's going to be really neat to try out all these new vehicles. I think one of the fun parts of Thunderbolt Apache Leader was understanding the characteristics of each aircraft or helicopter and putting them to the best use in the battlefield. Obviously, these are much more fighter jet oriented, and it's interesting because you have the pilot skill and so forth reflected on the card of the jet. So it's easier to track. Maybe you don't have to worry about pilot cards as you did in Thunderbolt Apache Leader, and one single 10-sided die. So I'm always amazed at how some of these complex war games have only one die. It feels like they should have a bunch. Anyway, they've got these neat mission cards here that give you the details on various different theaters and time frames. And I think that could be just really neat to explore, essentially different scenarios that way. You have a log sheet, unfortunately only one, so I know it has to probably be photocopied and so forth, but it's too bad they didn't include a pad of them. The counters, again, very similar to Thunderbolt Apache Leader, very good quality, nice and shiny, as you can see, and they're pretty thick, and they have ways of tracking stress, damage, and that sort of thing, but also a lot of the weapons as well. A lot of the counters, the blue ones, are all going to be weapons you can choose. So they have a lot of those. So you know, definitely a bunch of counters. There's a whole counter sheet of weapons, so which is very similar again to Thunderbolt Apache Leader. And then we have the board, which I think is really neat. Very small footprint. I love the kind of target, like bullseye dartboard kind of look to it, and how you head in towards the target card. I thought that's kind of a neat way of looking at it. So, and of course it has the spots for the target deck and the event deck and so forth, as well as a sequence of play. Anyway, there's something visually about that board I've always really liked. The instructions, they remind me very much of the other leader game. They're probably all very similar. They're very clear, but at the same time, what I've always appreciated about them is you can almost pick up and just play along with it as you go. You don't need to read the rules first and sit down and figure things out. You can almost, they're straightforward enough usually. You can actually just kind of play along and figure it out as you go. So anyway, we're going to put the box lid on, and as we like to do here, put it back into the shrink wrap. Again, just to make sure it's kept as pristine as possible. So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts about Phantom Leader. I'm going to be doing some more content for it on the channel, and about the other leader games by DVG. I'm sure there are some other great ones as well. This is just the one that I've heard of the most. Other than Thunderbolt Apache Leader, this was the one that was the most recommended, I guess you could say. And so we're actually even going to show you how to put it back into the shrink wrap, the bubble wrap that it came in. And so we love to do these just for fun. We've been doing these reboxing videos now since day one, as a way to kind of put our spin on the traditional unboxing videos. And so we have a lot of fun with them, and just add some neat visual interest to what is essentially the same content as what you'd get unboxing a video, unboxing a game on a video. So we're gonna put this all back together, and we're going to throw it into the box that it arrived in. Look at that wrapping. I don't know if I've ever received a game that was this tightly and securely wrapped. You would think it was something important to national security or something. Look at that. There's 2 boxes. There's more wrapping on top of that. I mean, man, this was the company was taking no risks with this one. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.